Hey guys, Big Fat Daddy Toad here. So, what you're witnessing right now are my little whammons running through the Chaos Sanctuary. In this first case scenario, we have this 6-socketed WINDFORCE boson. That's right, my boy Pete actually hooked me up with this bloody thing just to make a video or two with. So, yeah, I'll show it in just a moment. But it's a good comparison for how efficient these both run the Chaos Sanctuary. Or maybe it's not all that great because I do kind of take my time in some scenarios, but you guys can see how it just wastes the shit out of these foes. Yeah, this is a hog of a bow, indeed. But the problem is, it does come with its drawbacks. There's a lot of you armchair spectators just watching us play and telling us what the fuck is best without even trying it yourselves, we've noticed anyway. And it seems that I have some experience with the boson, not a ton, right? But my boy Pete here, he has a 95 Amazon, and this is his WINDFORCE, like I've mentioned. And what he primarily uses, however, is his Faith Bow still in a Grand Matron. I think some of the reasons have to do with how defensive Faith is. But yeah, you took a little glimpse right there. You saw that Ohm to hell and back WINDFORCE bow. So I'm actually quite surprised, though, with the performance of this thing. It seems to be doing the job no problem, brah. And just wasting shit like crazy. I could have a few more, probably attack rating Grand Charms on this character because she is built around the Faith Bow primarily. But what I took from Pete for this video, I took a Andy's Visage. It's required to hit this final breakpoint. And yeah, I just found a nice little Lem rune right there. The little whammon is very pleased with that. She's looking forward to giving it to Daddy later today. I don't know, man. She just likes to please me. But nonetheless, yeah, the Andy's Visage, it's a nice helm. And his has some enhanced damage, IS Jewels. I think it has about 70 enhanced damage on it. And it actually adds about 700 total max damage. And probably a few hundred to minimum damage. So it actually is very effective. And as you can see here, there's my stats. I have very low MF with this WINDFORCE build. Because the problem is you also need not only the 30 IAS gloves, which I have, laying of hands. You also need, which are corrupted of course, for that additional 10% IS, but you also need 10 IS on your freaking arrows. So, unless if you just have ungodly gear, you know, you have to make some sacrifices, because I found some very nice arrows that add just hundreds and hundreds of damage, 400 or 500 damage, max damage, and then some min damage. But the problem is, if you want to get those with the 10 IAS, you know, you gotta be rich AF, brah. Or just really lucky, and I'm too scared to corrupt my arrows. I'm just too scared to do it. I have two very nice arrows, one with a dual MF mod, so it adds in total like 60 to 70 magic find. They're toads of arrows. And here's my Faith one now. And as you can see here, the damage took a hit. But I'm actually wearing the wrong arrows. I'm about to pop on the other arrows, which should give me another 100 damage or so. And she's wearing a lot of the same gear. But what I like about this build is you can wear Atma's Scarab Amulet and still hit that final breakpoint with Faith, alright? Now that comes in very handy. See, look at it, just cast it out like fucking crazy, bro. Just cast it like a bat out of hell. But it's primarily most important when you're running the tiers, because this character with this build right here that you're watching, this is my primary boson build. I'm actually wearing some weaker arrows that have the 60 MF. I can wear stronger arrows that add a few hundred more damage, but me's like having a little bit of MF, and this, I think this build is running with like 150 some MF now for pretty much my so far my endgame Amazon build. But yeah, the damage just casts like crazy. And a reason why that's so important is not only because it just wastes enemies then when they get casted on them, but in addition to that, as many of you know, it breaks their physical immunities. And that's really important in some of the tiers, because it's a fucking bitch when you run into those frenzy mofos, for example, in Tier 4. But this character actually runs Tier 4 with very little issue. She cleared the whole damn thing a few times, no problem. And but it's just a little slow killing the frenzy guys because they're all physical immune. But you have two options now. You don't have to just magic arrow all of them like you would with WINDFORCE, which could take forever, and they could waste your merc in that duration and stuff like that. But with Atma's Scarab, you can just strafe the shit out of them, and it'll cast amp damage like a hog, and you'll just waste those guys after you start casting your amp. And of course, Atma's only has a 5% chance, but you'd be surprised, bruh. You'd be fucking surprised how quickly it casts it. See that? It casts it like all the time. I cast it like all the time. Look, there's amp on those motherfuckers. It's just always casting it, man. Especially with Faith. And that's the thing, is with this Faith build over the WINDFORCE build, you actually are attacking faster. You know, I mean, look back on my WINDFORCE. That's the cap with the breakpoint we're able to hit without having a Faith merc. And of course, there's some debate that comes along with that. But with the Faith Burk, the problem with that is I've run with one before in testing over on botnet. And what happened was it was just a fucking biatch relying on that little whammon. Because the whammon would often get sidetracked, she'd get stuck, and then all of a sudden you'd be attacking slow as a slug. You see? So I just couldn't stand that invariability shit. That unpredictability, you know what I mean? It was just, I didn't like the inconsistency there, man. Just fucking, it was bullshit. The little whammon would just get stuck, and then you'd start attacking slow as a slug. And the thing with Faith is you're attacking so fast that you're constantly proccing your shot. You're constantly proccing your critical strike, you know? You're constantly proccing your... What's the other ones? Your deadly strike, which is the same thing, but it rolls separately. And you're constantly proccing your crushing blow if you have any, and open wounds, and most importantly, amp damage. Yeah, and another thing with the Faith bow is it has 15 res all, has damage to undead, has a crazy attack rating, which is really important. A really nice attack rating. Counting the fanaticism aura, the skills, and the 200% increased attack rating. All those combined are all attributes you're not going to get on the WINDFORCE. And something that's really important, maybe one of the primary benefits of Faith, is when you run the tiers, man, you have just a swall of skeletons. You have a skeleton army following you around. Like, I had like 20 skeletons around me, like on tier 4 and stuff, where it's nice and wide open. And because, you know, there's a 10% chance they'll reanimate the killed monster as a skeleton. And they're very durable. Like those frenzy motherfuckers that I was talking about in tier 4. The skeletons just take a beating, man. Those guys are just hacking the shit out of them. And to my surprise, I rarely ever see them die. So it's nice how it keeps those guys stationary and you can just blast away at them. And yeah, with the Faith bow, the problem is you're going to have some knockback if you want to... Well, you don't have to have it. My boy, Pete, actually, I think he generally runs without it. I don't have it right now in this video. I'm still wearing the Laying of Hands. And this is actually the WINDFORCE video, of course. So, damn, I'm blabbling a lot about that Faith. And I know y'all gonna bitch about that. Y'all gonna bitch like motherfuckers about that shit. You know, because everyone who doesn't play Path of Diablo, they're like, oh man, you gotta use that 6's WINDFORCE. There's no way in hell the Faith is better than that, bruh. You know, if you're gonna be on Path of Diablo, you gotta use that fucking WINDFORCE. You can't use Faith anymore, you bitch. You know, they say stuff like that. And these folks, like I said, these armchair spectators, man. You know, these ain't them bosons who put the time in, who put the work in, who put the effort in. You know, who run this shit. You know, they're not those guys. The guys who run this shit. So, and when you're running this shit, you know, you start to get a feel. You know what I mean? You start to get a feel for your women. And they have separate purposes, though. Like, they both have a way, okay? What the hell's going on here? Oh, she had something to say, apparently, about Big Papa Pump. But, shit, man. They both have their specialties. And the thing is, with the Faith, you're so much more defensive. And I know folks say, you don't have to have max res with Boson. But you know what? Papa Pump likes having that, okay? And my other boy, Pete, I mean, he wears Andy's Visage with his Faith bow. You know, he doesn't even have max res. He's not going for that max res thing. And he still likes the Faith. You know, he says he uses the Faith 90% of the time. And he's 95 bows on, bruh. And he has some hog characters. In fact, I gotta make a video showing his Toad droid. His droid is a fire droid. I gotta show you guys his shit if he wants to have it exploited, that is. But man, I was following him around my women, and he was just wasting tier 3. He said it was optimal for tier 3 runs, this droid build, but it was GG. All right, but yeah, Faith is just so bloody defensive. You know, that's the thing about it, brah. And it's just so damn defensive, and it attacks faster. And the Skelly armies really help. They really do. Okay? You don't believe me? Try it, man. Try it for your fucking self. You know, good luck getting 6-socketed WINDFORCE, though. Those things are worth several high runes. I think at this point they're like 10 high runes plus. Not that everyone ever fucking buys them, but that's what, like, the asking price is. But, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind having one, you know, and this one that he has is a hawk. It's a pretty cool thing. Obviously, you can... There's other options in socketing them. He just went all out with those Ohm runes. But, yeah, it's still achievable to get the max IAS, like we've witnessed in this video. But you need all that top-end gear. You need that 30s Andes and stuff like that. And 10 IAS on your arrows, which is easy to get. But if you want to have decent arrows, you know, your options are vastly limited. And it can take a long time to get there. To get the nice arrows, the 10 IAS. If Daddy corrupts his arrows and gets 10 IAS on those, man, those would be a hog. Yeah, those would be a hog. I could actually switch out belts then. I wouldn't have to wear the Nos coil all the time. Could screw around with different belts. I mean, how I could work T-Gods for that matter. A Razor Tail to 15 max damage and some pierce. But I like both these bows, alright? And I'm actually somewhat surprised how efficiently that WINDFORCE ran the Chaos. Now, according to my boy, I think what he said was, if it weren't for the tiers, WINDFORCE would always win. I think he said something like, WINDFORCE is a little better in Chaos Sanctuary, it's a little better for cows, or maybe he said it's a lot better. But when it comes to the tiers, you know, this endgame content, the additional damage you get with WINDFORCE just might not be worth it, man. With all the shit you have to sacrifice, that's the thing. With the fastest fuck attack rating, and party play can go both ways, I think, because if you have a party that's optimal around your Bozon, you could have a GG WINDFORCE Zond with like somebody with a Berserker or Summon Army or something like that, so you can still get the Fanaticism aura, and you could just be the one who sits back and just sets those heavy hitting arrows. Or on the other end of the coin, however, the other side of the coin, man, you could have the Faith bow on your character, and then your whole party will benefit with damage and attack rating and attack speed from Fanaticism. So, you know, it's a tough call on those things, but if you guys will like this damn video. All right, I'd like to thank Josh Z. He just raised his patron amount to a very generous amount. So thank you for that, Josh, for, you know, appreciating the Iceman like that and hooking me up. And Garrett gave me a donation through my little tippy jar. A very generous donation, so thank you, Garrett. And thank you, Pete, for letting me use this bloody WINDFORCE. I get this hog back to you soon, man. Yeah, but I'm surprised with this thing, man. It's quite a hog. But if you guys will like this damn video, become a patron if you want. Peace be with you.